Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me now? I've turned my microphone on. I'm an idiot. No, it was me, Moya. So can you hear me now? I've turned the microphone on. It helps, doesn't it? I presume you can hear me. Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, forgot to turn it on. I'm such an idiot. Hello, good morning, everybody. I've got lots to show you again, lots of new fabric. Hilary, yes, I can hear you. Yeah, did you all think you'd gone deaf overnight? So let's start again, shall we, children? Good morning. It's Sunday. It's after Builders. What's that? Sunny West Yorkshire. Yeah, it's a bit murky out here. It says if you look on the stupid Met Office weather, it says it's sunny, but it's not. It's misty murky. Hopefully it'll clear up later because my washing's already on the line. So yeah, it's been one of those weeks. So as you all know, we've had builders in doing the public toilet, which is no longer a public toilet, but it's not finished yet. I've still got to paint it. But after 10 days, as he packed up his tools and left and said, there you are, all you've got to do is a bit of dusting. Typical man. And I just smiled, and 7 hours later I'd finished cleaning. But there we are. So I've done my arm in and my shoulder, absolutely killing me. And then all that fabric came. Yeah, everyone's got a lot of fog. It's very froggy everywhere today. Typical autumn weather. So as you know, we've got lots of new fabric turned up, of course, just when you don't need it to turn up. And I've got some, before that turned up, the thread turned up. So I did some Redwork packs before the fabrics turned up. So I'm going to do them first because I'm surrounded by cushions and I can't move. So I'll just let a few more people join in. Good morning, Bev. Thank you for ordering. Thank you. What do you mean you couldn't find me? I'm here, Sonia. I'm where I always am. Are you back from holiday? Or are you on holiday, Sonia? Yorkshire seems to be the only place that's got sun so far today. Anybody else got sun? So how many people are here? Right, there's lots of you here, so I'll get started. So I'll go back. I'll start on last week's Redwork pack, and then I'll do this week's Redwork pack because I didn't show you what was in it very well last week. So there's still a little pack of Redwork stuff from last week, which had a load of stitchery panels, which I didn't open and show you. So I'm going to show you now. So in last week's pack, you've got the Love to Stitch and Sew panel. You've got the sewing machine panel. You've got a Love to Stitch heart. You've got a little label sort of thing that says pins and needles on it. So you've got those. So you've got all those stitchery panels. You've got a ball of Vinc Perle. You've got Atelier mini charm pack, and that just gives you an idea. If you've not seen this, if you didn't miss the one when we had this, that gives you an idea of what the sewing machine's like when it's stitched up, and that's Atelier fabric, so you can get an idea of what the fabrics are like in there. Let's chuck that over there. And you've also got two bits of tape measure tape. So there's a taupey bit and a red bit. So that was last week's Redwork bag. Good morning, Lynn. Back now. Did you have a nice holiday then? Beautiful, sunny in Sheffield. Yeah, so that's part of the country seems to be where the sun is hiding because it's not come out down here. So that was last week's Redwork pack. And what did I call it? Something like Love to Stitch bag or something like that. Anyway, that's last week's. Everything's on the sale page, okay? And then pre-cuts you'll find, they're on the sale page and they'll also be on their own little section for pre-cuts. So all the new fabrics today are Macawa fabrics, just so you know. So the other thing that arrived was my Redwork threads, which I'd run out of. And in the Redwork box, there's all different reds. So there's like, can't see it very well on here, but there's a dark red, there's a pinky red, which Evie stated yesterday that she liked. There's another darkish red. There's a bright Christmas red, and there's a variegated thread just to make it a bit more interesting. So those are available on the thread page, and they're £20, and these are Aurifil threads, and they're very lovely. So those are the Perle Aurifil threads. Good morning, who's that? Sue. Hi. So you can buy those on their own, and they will be on the thread page, or you can buy a Redwork stitchery pack, and what I've put in there are a load of stitchery panels and the thread. So instead of showing you just the stitchery panels, I'll just show you the ones that are stitched up, and then it gives you an idea of the colours that are in it. So I've put in the pack, I've put this stitchery panel in, the Crinoline Lady, and that's the variegated thread on there. So that shows you those colours. There's what I call the mandala stitchery panel, so there's two of them. So there's one, and that's stitched in the brighter red, I believe. I did that one in. There's another one here, which I've used a bit of both. So I've used some of the variegated and some of the brighter red on that one. There is that one again. I've used the variegated threads on that one, so that panel's in the pack as well. And then finally, you've got the bird, and that's using one of the darker reds. So you've got all those stitchery panels in there. So there's 5 stitchery panels and the pack of thread in there. So the thread's £20, and the stitchery panels are normally £5 each. So that would be 20. So that would be 45 normally, and it's on offer for 35. So if you fancy doing those, now that the weather's got a bit more jolly good, everyone who's had a nice holiday. Hello, Mandy. So that's the stitchery packs gone through. Oh, there will be a maths question as well. So I'll ask you the maths question in a minute. But as per last week, I'm going to start making you work for your giveaways. I shall upload this to Tube, and you can put your maths question guesses on YouTube. So I'll put the link up later while I'm having my coffee afterwards. And today's prize is the usual scrap bag for the maths question. So it's full of all sorts of bits I had left over. So you've got some Busy Bee, the Queen Bee fabrics in there. There's a bit of tape measure tape in there, and some wild orchid fabrics in there. So that's the maths question prize. And the prize for purchases this week is, I had another pile of fabrics left over from showing you what I've got for sale. So there's a wild orchid mini charm, a wild orchid candy bar, an atelier charm pack, and the memory lane strippy roll. So they're all in a bag. So some lucky person who orders will, thank you Chris, will win that. So the orders count from, I think I put everything up, so from Friday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday. So you've got 4 days of ordering to be eligible to win this. And as usual, I'll tell you on Tuesday who has won. Before we go on to the new fabrics, I've also cut, before I knew that the new fabrics were coming, I thought I'll do some little fat quarter packs of wild orchid, because we've got the big collection of fat quarters of 30, whatever it is, 34 fat quarters, and then all the fat 8th packs, but you might not want that many. So I did some packs. How many's in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 fat quarters in a pack. So I did a set of pinks. Hang on, let's get it out. Because I was thinking, if you wanted to make the boxes as well that I've been manically making this week, you only need a little pack of fat quarters, so to make some boxes. So there's a pinky pack. There's a yellow pack. And then there's a purple and black pack. Very rich colours. So I've done those. So they're on the sale page as well. So they should normally be 4, 8, 12, 6. They're normally 20, so there's 17, those packs. So that's those. shall we get on to the new fabrics? Hang on, let's put them away. Chuck them over there. So, boxes, if you missed last week, so that was the wild orchid box I made last week out of the purpley coloured fabrics. Oh, that's what I was going to go. Oh, I'll do it in a minute. And that was the busy bee box, if you didn't see him last week. And then so I've used, there's packs of those still available. I cut some more this morning. So they're busy, Queen Bee, I keep calling it busy bee, it's Queen Bee. Morning from Misty South, yeah, everyone's Misty except for Yorkshire. So let's go on to, so new fabrics came in. So Heartland, which is very retro, which I've made into a box, of course. Hold him up to the camera. So that's the Heartland main panel. What did I put on the inside of him? That's the inside of that box. So I've used the Hexie box pattern, but I've used the big boys to make this. So instead of using just a hexagon for the top, I've just used the big boy templates. So this is slightly smaller, it's a 3.5-inch box. So I've just wrapped the flower template over the hexagon and made the lid for these boxes. So that's the Heartland, and this one's the, what it's called, Wildflower Cottage or something. So I made this last night. So there's another one. So that's the main print in it, and this is the print that I'm putting in the, what am I calling it, quilt inspiration packs. So there's 2 prints in each, which I'll get onto that anyway in a minute. But this was just something I could make up quickly so I could give you an idea of what the fabrics look like together. Who's that? Barbara. Good morning. So, and that's the inside of that box. So I've used one of the other fabrics on the inside, and then a pretty fabric for the lining. And I've worked out that you can make the whole box on your machine, and we'll be doing this next week. This time next week I'll be up in Coventry for the retreat, and we'll be making boxes. Okay, so you can make the whole thing on your machine. All that is done on machine, because before I was hand stitching the bottom, but you can, if you're really careful, do it all on the machine. Last week there was lots of comments on Tube. I said put comments of what you want demos for, so I have taken them into account and I will start working my way through them, but I haven't had a chance to do anything this week because it was so noisy in here with the builders banging and crashing around, so I haven't had a chance. And then the fabric came, so I'm not ignoring what your comments and suggestions. I will get through to doing them. So those are the 2 boxes. Let's get on to the fabric. So let's start with Heartland. So this one's the Heartland one, very retro colours, greens and pinks, and retro sort of design. And I've cut mini charm packs, candy bars and charm packs, and 10-inch packs, and a quilt inspiration pack. So that's what they look like together. So if I go, there's 10 fabrics in this, and I've done the charm packs, etc. I've got 4 of each design in. So the charm pack, the candy bar and the mini charm, I've got 4 of each design. So if I just show you them quickly. So there's that pretty flower. There's one just like a cream on cream, and then that's really pretty, that one, little rosebud one. And there's another flowery one, and then there's the retro housey one, which is that one, and then there's a couple of ones with wheelbarrows on, and here's the other wheelbarrow one. It's really pretty. And then the flower in the green, another pinky little flower, ditzy flower, and that's the main print, which I'll show you on the bolt in a minute, because you can't get an idea of it from there. So those are the fabrics that are in it, and I've also cut 10-inch packs, so 10-inch squares of those like that. So if you wanted to make a load of boxes, one of these packs will make a load of boxes. Okay, so they're quite good to have for the boxes. In the inspiration pack, So here's an inspiration pack. So in the inspiration pack, you've got all the, like the charm pack, the mini charm and the candy bar. And then you've got 1/2 metre of this stripe, which I thought was good for binding if you wanted to make up a quilt. And then you've got, oh, I'll get to it in a minute, 1/2 metre of the main fabric in there. So I think I bought this originally because I thought they'd be really good to fussy cut for hexy flowers, which is why I did hexy flower boxes, because you can just put your hexagon over the middle of the house and fussy cut it, or each image, and it's just the right size. And speaking of big boys, I think I've got 4 left, but I'm picking some. Andy's bringing a load up to Coventry for me. So that's the big print. So you get 1/2 metre of that, 1/2 metre of that, and then the candy, the mini charm and the charm pack. Now, where's my paper with the instructions on? How much is that? I think they're £32.50 and they should be £39.50. Anyway, on the sale page, have a look. That's your inspiration pack. I don't know how many are left. I have packed a load this week, ready to go in the post Monday. So Friday, a load of orders came in and they're all ready to go. And I was thinking with those, they would look particularly nice with the stitchery panels, because I haven't got round to making anything with my stitchery panels because I haven't finished them all yet. But I thought they'd look particularly nice with the flower heart stitcheries, these kind of colours, and they're all florally designed, so I thought they would look nice together. So that was an idea. Anyway, any comments? Bit late, shocking. What do you mean you couldn't find me? Well, it's probably a good job you didn't find me to begin with, Sarah Jane, because I forgot to turn my microphone off, so I was mute for a while. So that's the first lot. So that's Heartland. We'll go over it again briefly before I disappear for coffee. And then the next one is by Renee Nanneman. And it is very, what's the word? French generalish. And these are the main prints. So again, there'll be a quilt inspiration pack in these, and these are the 2 main panels that you've got 1/2 metre of each. So these are the ones that I've used. I've used the big print on the box and the dark print on the side of the box. So you're going to have 1/2 metre of each in your quilt inspiration pack. And they're so French generally. I'll show you a bag that I made of one of the last French generals, and you'll see what I mean when I show you. So again, there will be a 10-inch pack. So there's more fabrics in this. So there's 26 in this one, whereas the Heartland's only got 20 in. This one's got 26 in. So there's 26, 2 of each in the 10-inch pack. And then again, you've got the mini charm, the candy and the charm pack. So in the inspiration pack, you'll get all those 3, and then 1/2 metre each of these, okay, on the quilt inspiration pack, because I was thinking that would be good for a border, and the dark red would be good for binding, etc., or some applique, maybe hearts applique. I didn't have time to make anything. I wanted to make up a little quilt with it, but I just didn't have time this week. But I was thinking it would quite, the charm pack, if you did, hang on, let's grab this, talk amongst yourselves for a sec. If you did what I did with this, with the wild orchid, so I did the crossroads in the middle, and then I cut the charm packs down to go as a border. But you could do with this one, so you could do this and the Heartland, you could do like the crossroads template in the middle, then you can have a border, maybe have a border of the big print, and then maybe add some little squares round, and then use your charm pack to do an all outer border. I'm not sure. I was thinking about it anyway. So suggestions on a postcard, please. But I don't know when I'll get time to make it. If I get any time this week, I'll have a go. But that was the general idea. So there's quilt inspiration packs. There's the quilt inspiration pack ready to go. Hang on, computer's gone off. For the Wildflower, what's it called? Wildflower Cottage or something. Anyway, it's all on the sale page. So you can buy everything individually. In this and the Heartland, you can buy just a mini charm, you can buy just a candy bar, you can buy just a charm pack, you can buy just a 10-inch pack, or you could buy the whole lot, the whole shebang. How have you got any pattern or kit for the boxes? Yes, there's a pattern for the boxes. It's Hexy boxes on the website. There aren't kits for the boxes because there's so many combinations of fabric you can use. If you're coming on the retreat next week, you will have the Hexy boxes pattern in your goodie bag, so don't go buying it. And you will have a stitchery panel and some thread and a mini charm pack if you're coming on the retreat. And we're going to make them whenever I do my class. I've got some wadding, quarter metre wadding bits cut ready for you, but the wadding in here it's like Bosal, but I've got now, if you look on my accessories page, it's called Styleville Fix, which is like a Vliseline version of it, because the legacy foam are not supplying very well to my wholesaler. They can't get hold of it, so I've changed to, and it's better, I think. So excuse me. Yes, there is a pattern for the boxes. Who's very late? Shocking. Right, that's thrown me a bit. So yeah, the maths question for today, for which you will have to answer on YouTube later on. Don't put the answer in Facebook, and I'll put the link up later on. The maths question is, obviously I've cut all these fabrics this week. How many bits of fabric have I cut? And the clue is it's under 10,000, but over 1,000. So guess later on, and you could win a nice big scrap bag. Right, what else have I done this week? I have done some more kits for those of you who are into Christmas. I've done a few more kits of these. There's not many left now, so there's a few more kits of those, and a few more kits for the runner here. So I've done kits for that. What else have we got kits for? Bags. The bag kits that I did last week. If you want to have a go at making this bag, there's a load of kits for those. There's either a purple version, which what this is, or there's a creamy version of this. So that's that. And the big boy quilt, I'm afraid all the brown fleece has gone that I used on this, and the suppliers haven't got any more yet, of course, at the moment. So there's still the fabrics, but there's no more of the brown fleece. I have got some of the grey/white fleece, which would also go with that. If you want that. Oh, needs a slurp of something. Hang on, let's put that down. I've got my juice today. My turmeric and ginger to wise me up. In the French General, is there enough for the bomb quilt? Yeah, I should think there probably would be, actually, Chris, because that's what sort of was in the back of my mind when I was doing the pack. So the pack with the French General style fabric, you could do the block of the month in that. So because you've got that nice border, you've got 1/2 metre of that border fabric, you've got half a metre of that, which you would do the little border here and the binding, just if you're careful. I think there was, excuse me, 72 pieces in that, and there's 50, oh gosh, 26, there's 52 in this. You'd probably just about do it. Oh, that's what I was going to show you, that bag. So this is a French General bag. There's more blues than purples in this, but the big print in this is so similar to this one. If you look at it, very similar. So this is a French General bag. So this pattern, where's the pattern gone? I got it out earlier. That's not it. You'll find it. There we are. Charm Pack Shuffle bag. So if you want to buy the Charm Pack in the new Wildflower Cottage fabrics, you can make that with it. So that's the French General version, but the fabrics are so similar. Very pretty. Lots of little ditzy Little ditzy fabric. Didn't show you the fabrics, did I? Duh. Oh, did you like it, Lish? Have you made anything yet? Oh, it probably is Facebook. Facebook hide me, I think. They don't like me. So these are the fabrics in the Wildflower Cottage, which I omitted to show you. So again, there's 4 of each. So there's the first one. And there's lots of like little ditzy ones like that. So quite purpley colours. There's a pretty one there. This is the one that I used on the inside of the box. Nice pinky one there. That's the big print that I've shown you that's in the inspiration pack. And that's the red that's the 1/2 metre in the inspiration pack. There's the purpley, purple on purple. And then there's some little ditzy, cute little ditzy flowers. So they're purple and cream. And another purpley one. And there's another one. I think we're getting to the end now. Oh, yeah, there's that nice pinky one. That's pretty. That's what I used on the box lid, that one. That's that one. And is that it? Oh, no, there's a purpley one of the big print that I used in the box. So again, this is good for fussy cutting. And that's it. So that's that one. So that's the Wildflower Cottage. I think I've covered, yeah, I think I've covered about everything now. Love all the new fabrics. Thank you. Actually, has some French vintage. Missed that bit completely. Yeah, you have to watch me back. Watch me back on Tube. Help my algorithm on Tube later on. So if you came in late, let's quickly go over. So the Heartland one, if you missed that, this was the Heartland one that I was showing everyone. And everything's been made into a box because I can now get that box making down to about an hour if I sit and nobody interrupts me. So the Heartland one's quite a retro vibe, and I was thinking it would make a nice Christmas retro vibe. So that's the Heartland one, and here's a quick overview of the Heartland fabrics. So the big sort of pink, salmony pink and greens they are, and they're gardening themed, which is why I was thinking they'd be nice with the stitchery panels. I've lost my stitchery panel already. How can you do that? Shocking. I was there. I thought they'd look nice with these, the Heartland ones, and I'll quickly show you again the main print and the binding. I put that in the inspiration pack because I thought that would be really lush for binding, the stripy one. And as I was saying, these are really good to fussy cut if you've got a big boy, sexy flower big boy. So that's the big print. It's a very retro gardening-y themed fabrics. There's a Redwork offering this week, Redwork pack with £10 off, which includes all my new Redwork threads. Well, they're not new. Restock of the Redwork threads, and then all the cushions which I've thrown on the floor. This one I haven't got individually anymore. These are all, there's 5 stitchery panels in the pack, so the pack's £10 less than if you bought them individually. This one I haven't got individually at the moment, but it's in the post to me. So it was I called it a crawl style stitchery, and that's using, all these have been stitched in the threads that are in the box. Okay. A lot of you have done these before, the mandala ones, and that one, and the birdie one, and finally the crinoline lady, who I did in the variegated and the dark red. So those are all those stitchery threads. They're very nice, Aurifil stitchery threads. When I last looked, Canada Post was still on strike, so no new sewing thread through, because I was telling you the other week about the thread that I've used on here. Hang on. The thread that I've used on here is the S303, you know, the Pearl S303 that I use for everything. It also comes, they all come in a sewing thread. So if I hold it up a bit closer, you might be able to see. This is a new Valdani sewing thread and it stitches beautifully. But Canada Post then went on strike as soon as I ordered it. So when I get back from the retreat, if Canada Post is still on strike, they can send my stuff UPS. So we might have to do that. Any questions? No. So that will be coming. And finally, for those late risers, there's last week's Redwork stitchery pack, which has got, I think we've got 4 stitchery panels in there. So you've got a little pins and needles, love to stitch heart, sewing machine panel, and the love to stitch and sew panel, bag panel, atelier mini charm pack, thread, and tape. She says throw in the tape measure tape. Okay, that's in last week's offering. So yeah, so the new fabrics are beautiful. Still waiting for French General to come, but I think this one's as good as might as well be French General, to be honest. This new one, very pretty, but there's not much left. I've cut it all up, and that you can see how much is left on the bolt, which is not very much. So maybe I've got a couple of meters left of each fabric now. So I've done all those packs so far. I haven't done any chance to do any more. That took me a couple of days. So any questions? Maths question, I'll just recap, is basically how many bits of fabric did I cut this week, which was lots. But it's under 10,000 and you will have to put the answer on Tube later on. Are you getting the Love to Stitch heart back in stock? Well, I probably got it somewhere and I'll check later. Let me write that down. Love to Stitch heart. To stitch heart. I'm sure I've got it. It's probably just showing out of stock on the website and I haven't noticed. So I'll check that later. Okay. Anything else? No, I think that's about covered everything. So if you want to make the boxes, just look for the hexi box. Look for the hexi box pattern, and that's using, these are the latest ones, using the new fabrics, which I will be bringing to Coventry. If you're coming to Coventry next week and there's something specific you want, please let me know, because I can only fit so much in the car and I can't bring loads and loads and loads of stuff. It's Malvern next week as well, which I think I probably would have done if it hadn't been for being invaded by builders and the whole house is chaos. I could have done it, because I reckon I can do Malvern and back in a day, which means I don't have to stay up there. Now they've opened Heads of the Valleys. It's 2 hours, but it's just about doable in a day when it's only a 3-day show. But I'm not doing it. So next Sunday will be 3 Amigos will be live from Malvern, and because I'm away, if you order anything over the weekend or that following week, there will be a week's delay in postage, because obviously I'm not here to post it. So if you order something, please bear in mind that you're not going to get it for at least a week. Okay, if you ordered something next weekend, you're not going to get it for about 7 days. Okay, so we're going to do 3 Amigos live from Malvern show, and I have a feeling we said we were going to start probably about 9:15. So we're going to go and torment whoever's in the queue waiting to get in the show. We're going to go out and torment them. So it should be interesting. So that's what. Let's just hope it's not raining. That'll put paid to that, won't it? So we'll be hiding inside if it's raining. I can't see any more questions. It's not. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah, that's it for today's offerings. Just have a peruse on the website. and thank you for watching the randomness again. I'll put the link for the tube channel later on, and you can have a guess for the maths question. And I will see you next Sunday in Malvern with the other two, hopefully in the queue. Hopefully it will be sunny in Malvern next Sunday, and we'll see you there. Okay, so it's breakfast time now. So see you next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your purchases, and thank you for your support. Okay, bye.